there a moment when you knew that supporting underrepresented artists and volunteers in the arts world was going to take all your energy and passion?
There were many moments over the years where I knew that I wanted to help underrepresented artists and be the voice for them. It was mostly just because I had been an advocate in the disability world for so many years, so I was used to speaking up and being the voice for those that I felt weren't being treated fairly. So when I would see an audition that wasn't in an accessible venue or a space where audience members couldn't enjoy the show in the way I felt they deserved, I would speak up. And I kind of fell into the role once again of just being the advocate and being the voice because I was practiced at doing that. And that came very naturally in the arts world as well for me.
What does this Ramon John Hnatyshyn Award mean to you?
This award means so much to me because it represents the fact that it is possible for somebody with a disability, especially a woman with a disability, and especially a queer woman with a disability, to be able to have a space in the arts. When I started out, I couldn't see any examples of somebody with a thriving career in the arts who was visibly disabled. So I didn't think it was a possibility for me. And over the years, after fighting and trying to make change and sometimes feeling like giving up and being pulled back in because it's the only thing I want to do in my life is be involved in the arts, I realized that I can make my own space and I can create my own art. And once people see what I can do, they'll want to program it and they'll want to make a space for me. And not only make a space for me, but then I can bring others in behind me and continue to open doors for others as well. So that's what the Ramon John Hnatyshyn Award means to me.
What are the gifts that your community brings to art?
Disabled people are the ultimate creatives. We have to think outside the box every day and innovate in so many creative ways just to survive in a society that was never designed for us. So we can bring that to our artistic practice and really look at new ways of creating and layering in access measures that actually make the piece more interesting and better than it would have been without them. So creativity in the disabled world is the greatest gift. And I think that the more disabled and mad and neurodivergent people who are creating in innovative ways that are welcomed into the storytelling realm, the better art we'll be making.
You mentioned that your path has not been an easy one. And I know that there were moments when you attempted to disengage from the theater and pursue other interests, and yet you kept coming back. Let us know a little insight into why that was the case and what pulled you back.
I struggled in the arts industry for many years after I became visibly disabled. A lot of people that I had worked with for years just couldn't imagine a space for me, either with my forearm crutches or eventually in my wheelchair on stage. I was even told that I would be a distraction by somebody who I considered a very close mentor, and that caused a lot of pain. And then, and many other occasions, I decided this is too painful, I can't do this, and I'm just going to leave. Auditions weren't happening because they weren't being held in accessible venues, so I couldn't even get in to try to be a part of productions. And it was really, really disheartening to not be able to see anybody else like me do it and always feeling like I was failing at every step. So many times I pulled back and tried to step away, but again and again I would see my friends creating art and feel that excitement and want to be involved again. And the reason I returned is because in my soul I had to create art and there was no other option for me. And I really believe that's the only way that a disabled artist, at least at this point, can survive in the industry, is because they're so drawn that they can't do anything else but create art, so they have to make it happen. And that's what I did. I volunteered and was behind the scenes and would do any job imaginable just to be close to the art that others were creating. And eventually, once I built up my confidence, I decided, well, maybe I can try this myself. And I tried circus and dance and drag and so many other types of art that I could create on my own, and I could control the narrative and make the art as I wanted it to be.
What do you think your legacy will be, the endurance of your efforts?
I think the biggest part of my legacy that I'll leave behind once I'm no longer here is the fact that I showed one example of somebody with a disability and a mad artist who was creating art. I proved it was possible. I was the proof of concept, so other artists could come behind and hopefully face a little less of the pain and a little less of the trauma that I had to face. But I knew I was willing to do that because I felt strong enough to be able to withstand that. And I knew that somebody had to, or it would never happen. So I wanted to be that first person. And that is a strong legacy that I can leave behind. And another legacy is just to make sure the community knows that it's not okay to leave people behind. We're always creating art, but there's always people missing from the room and missing from the dialogue. And I'm going to be the one to stand up and say, this is a problem and we need to change that. And I want all the arts organizations out there, even after I'm gone, to hear my voice again and again and to think about the fact of who's missing from our storytelling and how can we make them feel more welcomed.